This is the 1 month overview reading for SHIB coin for the month of July 2022. It's currently July 1st, 2022, 2:54 p.m. The overall theme and behavior for SHIB coin is a decline off of a high whose price we will not revisit within the time frame of the month, it looks like, and it's crossed with a notable move higher. So on like a multi-day chart, we'll see a prominent move higher and a notable crest on a multi-day chart as well, or on a, we should say on a year-to-date chart. There's a prominent crest here. The high here for SHIB in July is important somehow, and it looks like we have three opportunities at a high to open up short positions or buy puts or protect against long positions here in the midst of rallies. Looks like we have one of those opportunities when we're bumping up along resistance and we'll be going sideways, bumping along it. Another one when we, off of the high, we break down to and through support, and then we come back and reuse that support level. And then another one where we have kind of a similar thing. We hit a resistance level, drop, we have a spike, but then a lower spike and a lower spike. Those are where we'll see the three opportunities. And there's also there's like a lucky opportunity at the low here. It's possible that we have like a real prominent drop. Okay, so on the first, we have a rally up along a diagonal trend line, breaking through horizontal resistance, meeting a second resistance, and then pulling back to somewhere between those two. There's one local high, and by local high, I mean when you're looking at a one-day chart of SHIB coin for the first, you're going to see one prominent high there. On the second, we have sideways fluctuations with a bearish trend that precedes a rally. And it looks like there's a rally or a pop higher somewhere between the end of the second and the early end of the third, because on the third we have selling from overbought territory on RSI, and looks like from a price level, there's a price level here that we're not going to see again, possibly. Well, on a local chart, whatever the price level is that we dropped from, we won't see it again on that day of the third. On the 5th, we have a correlation to a month's high here. And we have a flight to safety, revisiting a past issue. Looks like we have a low on the 3rd, and then we pop higher on the 4th, but we fall like from that high, that crest or high there, that we have a prominent crest or high there on the 4th. And there's also there's a correlation here to a big move to the upside to reach that crest. So likely this is a month's high, or at least thus far a month's high. We have selling through a support to meet a secondary support, and we move sideways along that support, it looks like. On the 5th. There may be a high here at the end of the 5th as well. So fast sudden move higher somewhere right around the 6th. Fast sudden move higher, marking the end of a period of volatility. But there's a crest on the 4th. There's a crest on the 5th. And then we start to break down, it looks like, a little bit. Even though on the 6th we have that fast sudden move higher, marking the end of a period of volatility. On the 7th we have the tower card, a sharp decline. There's one local high, so on a one-day chart for the 7th we'll see one prominent high, and that'll form when we have kind of like sideways price swings with a bullish trend to it. There's a trade opportunity, a swing trade opportunity there on the 7th. And it involves a fast sudden move higher, marking the end of a rally, and we break down through a diagonal trend line with increasing volatility as we move forward in time. On the 8th, we have a pop higher, likely from being oversold or from a gap to close a gap that was a gap down. On the 9th, we have a night on the 9th. We have a day's high midday. It looks like we have a failed attempt to break through key resistance, and then we break down through key support level, and there's a month's trough or prominent trough or a month's low there on the 9th. On the 10th, we have a fast sudden move higher. There's a swing trade opportunity in there. It involves the end of a rally marked by a fast sudden move higher, and then a breakdown through a diagonal trend line with increasing volatility as we move forward throughout the day. And then on the 11th, we have a crest, another month's high or crest here, important crest. Excuse me. And a swing trade opportunity involving a selling down from a crest or peak to and through support, and then we come back and we reuse that support level as support. There's a trade opportunity involving that type of behavior, and there's one local low there. So on a one-day chart of the 11th, we'll see one local low or one prominent low on the one-day chart, and that'll be when we have a sudden dip within a period of decline. On the 12th, a male leader is highlighted. This could be Congress. This could be a leader in the crypto world, or maybe a leader having to do specifically with SHIB coin. Likely Congress, and it's the catalyst for a lot of volatility on the 13th. We have one local high and one local low. Off of the local high, we have a notable drop. And there's a fake out at the low, which is another prominent trough or low for the month there, right there on the 13th. It looks like so we meet a resistance level, and then we have volatility and increase in volatility as we move forward throughout the day. And look out for that low. There's a fake out near the low. On the 14th, we have two prominent moves, one upward and then a full retracement downward, and they cancel each other's movement out. There's a trade opportunity involving a fast sudden move higher, marking the end of a period of rally, where we break down through we have a fast sudden move higher, and then we break down through a diagonal trend line with increasing volatility on the way down. Looks like we have a day's low at the end of the week. Or at the end of the day on the 14th, excuse me, and then we have another trough or crest. It looks like likely a gap down on the 15th, or we decline deeply into the 15th, and there's a month's trough or a prominent low here on the 15th as well. But there's a big move higher out of that to reach a day's high at the end of the 15th. On the 16th, an important price level is highlighted. Take note, it'll be a resistance level where volume kind of flattens out and we move sideways for a bit. There's one local high on the 16th, and it's the behavior around that local high will be 3 pokes to the same price level marked by, and then on that third poke there's a big decline. On the 17th, we have another price level. It looks like it's the same price level again. That's highlighted on the 17th, and another local high where we have 3 pokes through the price level and then a decline. And then it looks like the second time we try to poke through that price level really has an impact, and we have a notable decline from the 17th into the 18th, and a month's low or prominent trough here. There's a fast sudden move higher out of that decline on the 18th, and it marks the end of that decline. Possibly a gap up on the 19th. We move higher through a resistance level, we stay above it briefly, and at that level we are in a new prominent trough or crest for the month. But then we break back down through that same price level rather quickly after meeting that high. There's one local low where we have a sudden dip within a period of decline, and there's a trade opportunity involving a selling from a peak or crest down to and through a support level, and then coming back and reusing that support level as support. And then on the 20th, there's an important support level highlighted. I'll take note of that price level at that time, and it'll help with further trading, future trading, I should say. There's 2 local lows, one where we have a notable decline through multiple support levels to reach the low, another where we have a sharp decline within a period of decline, a sharp drop within a period of decline to reach a low. And there's one local high on the 20th as well, where we forms within a period of sideways price swings with a bullish trend. Looks like it's either excuse me, it's either at the end of the 20th or early on the 21st, and then there's a male leader of nations highlighted on the 21st. There's one local high, and that local high forms when we have it forms in the period of sideways price swings with a bullish trend. We have another prominent trough or low that forms, or important price level is highlighted here on the 22nd, and there's a trough that forms. Looks like midday we meet a price level, we drop, and then we come back at the end of the day to meet that price level again. But there's an important trough in there. On the 23rd, there's a notable decline that increases with momentum as we move forward throughout the day. On the 24th, we have a sharp decline, and there's an important support level that we revisit that was recently a past opportunity. We revisit it with a sharp dip within a period of sideways rotation. It looks like at the beginning of the day we have a prominent decline. There's two local highs on the 21st. One has a sharp decline from it. Looks like that's probably the first one in the morning. And then there's another another local high that forms where we have a move sideways along support. We move higher, meet a resistance, and then bounce back down to that same support level and use it and move sideways along it again. There's one local low on the 24th as well, and there's a fake out, a potential fake out or shakeout of some kind there, so look out for that. There's an important support level that's an opportunity. It was recently a past opportunity, likely on the 20th or the 22nd. And so look out for that fake out. It may be inclined to make us think we're going lower, or possibly on the 25th we do go lower, and there's a cash in opportunity on short positions early on the 25th or late on the 24th. But it looks like we do have further decline on the 25th. And then there's a lot of movement, a lot of price change early on the 26th, possibly a gap up. There's a gap there between the 25th and the 26th, and then on the 26th we decline to and through a support level to meet a secondary support level that we bounce along sideways on for a bit, and then we break down through multiple support levels. There's one swing trade opportunity there as well on the 26th. It involves the end of a rally along a diagonal trend line marked by a fast sudden move higher before breaking down through that trend line. With increasing volatility as we move forward throughout the day. On the 27th, we have selling from overbought or near overbought territory on the RSI. On the 28th, we have another swing trade opportunity in the midst of a prominent decline, and that decline marks an opportunity to open up a long position. The trade opportunity happens in the midst of a rally that ends with a fast sudden move higher and then a breakdown through a diagonal trend line, increasing in volatility as we move forward through the day. On the 29th, we have a U-shaped dip, and it looks like we have a prominent crest or high here on the 29th. There's a U-shaped dip, so we likely see two highs, one at the beginning and one at the end of the day on the 29th. There's one trade opportunity involving a falling from a peak or crest down to and through a support level, and then we rise back up to reuse the support level. And then there's one local low there that involves a sudden dip within a period of decline. On the 30th, we also have a correlation to a month's higher crest, prominent crest there. So we have, it looks like, advised to be cautious. There's likely multiple false highs there. We do have a correlation to a big move higher. So on the 30th, big move higher, multiple false highs, and there's one local low that forms when we have a fast sudden move higher marking the end of a period of sideways rotation. On the 30th, we have a sideways rotation along a support level that increases with momentum and bullish sentiment as we move forward through the day. And then there's an important piece of news that comes out at the end of the day on the 31st. Alright, so lows that stand out to me are the 3rd, the 9th, 13th, the 15th, the 18th, the 22nd, the 24th, 25th-ish. And then crests that stand out: the 4th, the 5th-ish, the 4th or the 5th, 6th-ish, I should say, the 11th, the 15th, between the 20th and the 21st. Sorry, the 19th, and then between the 20th and the 21st, and then it looks like the 29th and the 30th. And that's Shipcoin for July, my friends. Let me know what you think. Hit that like button if you want to see more SHIB. And don't forget to subscribe, my friends. We're doing this for a good cause, to spread the word and get people to make some money in this market that's really standing against them. We're trading against computers, my friends, but not if we're trading based on tarot cards. The computers don't know jack about tarot cards, my friends. So with that said, share the video, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so yet. Much appreciated for watching, my friends, and I'll see you on the next one. And most importantly, when you make money from that reading, pay it forward. Later.